a gathering of power. The shadow loomed in the infinite void, a presence vast and unfathomable, yet lacking true form. His 7 fragments, the sins, knelt before him, their spectral bodies flickering with anticipation. The weight of their recent failures hung heavily in the darkness, a novice had undone sloth and greed. It was a humiliation the shadow could not afford to let fester. Pride, his voice sharp and cutting, broke the oppressive silence. "You lost," he sneered, pacing before the gathered sins like a predator sizing up his prey. To a novice. Not a champion, not some grand creation of the tree, just a mere mortal. The others shifted uncomfortably, their forms unstable and agitated. But the shadow stood silent, unmoving. Pride's words barely registered, drowned out by the rumbling current of his own thoughts. At last, the shadow spoke, his voice low and resonant, carrying the weight of an eternal storm. Whispers, not enough they are. Strength, we lack. Forms, shadows cannot fight. Tools, relics. They shall be ours. The sins, once fragmented and unsure, stilled under the weight of his words. The shadow's will was absolute. He raised a darkened hand, a ripple of unseen energy spreading through the void. "Seek vessels, strong they must be," the shadow commanded. "From strength, greater power we shall gain." The search for vessels. One by one, the 7 rose, their fragmented forms shimmering with purpose. Pride stepped forward first, his essence burning faintly with a golden arrogance. "I will take the strongest, a king who mirrors my greatness." Wrath growled, his form flickering like embers caught in a windstorm. "A warrior steeped in fury shall be mine, a soul tempered in rage." The others followed, their voices laced with malice and anticipation. Each sin sought a vessel that reflected their essence, a mortal whose soul could bear their corruption and amplify their power. Their task was clear: confront the mortals, offer them strength beyond comprehension, and take from them their will. "Go," the shadow intoned, his voice a thunderous command. "Confront them, you must! Offer power, take them whole! Together, stronger we shall become!" Pride's king, the crown corrupted. In a kingdom ruled by ambition and excess, pride found his perfect vessel. The king was a man of unmatched confidence, revered and feared for his unyielding rule. Yet beneath his shining crown lay a hunger that could never be satisfied, a yearning for power that had consumed him. Pride appeared in the king's throne room, cloaked in radiant light. The golden glow illuminated the grand hall, casting long shadows that seemed to whisper promises of glory. "Your greatness is known," Pride said, his voice smooth and regal. "But it is small compared to what I can offer. Take my strength, and you will rule not just a kingdom, but the world itself." Blinded by ambition, the king knelt before the shimmering figure. Pride's essence surged forward, enveloping him in a dark, pulsating aura. His golden crown twisted into a jagged circlet of blackened metal, and his eyes gleamed with arrogance reborn. Pride's vessel was complete. Wrath's warrior, the walking inferno. On a blood-soaked battlefield, Wrath found his vessel, a broken warrior whose rage burned brighter than any flame. The warrior had lost everything: his home, his family, his purpose. All that remained was his unrelenting fury. "You fight for survival," Wrath growled, his voice like a rumbling earthquake. "But your rage is wasted. Take my power, and you will fight for dominion. Become the storm that ends all wars." The warrior, desperate and consumed by anger, reached for Wrath's offer. The moment their essences merged, his scars glowed red, and his weapons ignited with living fire. Flames danced across his body, a reflection of the chaos within. Wrath's vessel was born, a walking inferno of destruction. Lust's courtesan, beauty's command. In the decadent heart of a sprawling city, Lust found her prey. The courtesan was a woman of unparalleled beauty, her charm weaving webs of desire around nobles and merchants alike. Yet, she yearned for more, true power over those who adored her. Lust appeared to her in a form that mirrored her own beauty, yet magnified to an impossible degree. "You captivate with your charm," Lust whispered, her voice like velvet. "But with my power, you will own them. Take their desires, and make them your slaves." The courtesan, drawn by the promise of absolute control, accepted without hesitation. Lust's essence fused with her, transforming her beauty into a weapon. Her voice became an irresistible siren's call, her presence an intoxicating command. Lust's vessel now walked the streets, a living embodiment of desire's enslavement. Envy's Shadowblade, the thief of souls. In the shadowed alleys of a crumbling city, Envy found a thief consumed by bitterness. The man resented the wealthy and powerful, his jealousy a fire that never waned. "You covet what they have," Envy hissed, his voice sharp and cutting. "Take my power, and you shall take it all. Nothing will be beyond your reach." The thief, driven by his endless envy, accepted. As their essences merged, his blade grew darker, sharper, and his footsteps quieter than the whisper of the wind. He became a shadow that stole not just wealth, but the essence of those he envied. Gluttony's devourer, the walking famine. In a land ravaged by famine, Gluttony sought a merchant who hoarded food while his people starved. The man's greed for excess made him a perfect vessel. "You gorge yourself while others starve," Gluttony growled, his form grotesque and bloated. "Take my power, and you shall consume all. Nothing will be denied to you." The merchant, driven by insatiable hunger, accepted. His body twisted and expanded, his touch devouring everything it encountered. Gluttony's vessel became a walking famine, an endless maw that consumed all in its path. The shadow ascends. As each sin claimed a vessel, the shadow's power swelled. With every bond, his essence became heavier, more defined. No longer formless, he began to take shape, his silhouette growing darker, more imposing. "Stronger now we are," the shadow declared, his voice a rumbling storm. "This but a beginning. Tools and relics seek we must. The tree falters, light shall fade." The rise of the shadow had begun, and with each step, the realms edged closer to darkness.